People might argue about which position is the toughest to play. Some might say the striker, since you have the responsibility of scoring goals, while others will suggest the goalkeeper, as the tiniest mistakes can prove to be costly. But here on Panenka, we have a different view, although we're sure plenty of you would agree with. We believe that the number 6 position is the most crucial role to play because 1. Battles are won and lost in the midfield, and 2. It combines the tasks of being solid defensively and also contributing high up the pitch. That's why no matter how much the football pundits rave about him or how many videos break down his performances, Ryan Gravenberch still doesn't get the recognition he deserves. It's simple. The Dutch sensation has been an absolute force under Arne Slot, dominating both on and off the ball. He's become the central figure in a system that's ticking like clockwork. Whether it's playing a crucial role in possession as the Reds break through opposition lines, or showing off his improved defensive awareness to win back the ball, we'll be diving into everything Ryan Gravenberch has been doing right this season. So don't forget to hit that like and subscribe button, and let's jump straight into the video. Heading into the season, we kept emphasizing how Arne Slot loves using a double pivot system, something we saw clearly during his time at Feyenoord. As we watched the pre-season friendlies, many of us wondered who would take up that number 6 role alongside Alexis McAllister in midfield. Early on, it seemed like Curtis Jones was the front runner for that spot, especially since he started almost every pre-season game there. But despite many fans hoping the club would bring in a new number 6, it quickly became clear that Gravenberch was the man for the job. After our Premier League opener against Ipswich Town, Arne Slot explained why he chose the 22-year-old for that role, and honestly, the gaffer couldn't have been more spot on. The manager pointed out that while Ryan would need to develop in this position, since he only played it briefly during his Ajax days a few years back, Gravenberch's comfort on the ball and his incredible stamina were key reasons for his selection. Now, you might have been wondering what Slot meant by run and keep on running. Well, it's something we've already seen him do countless times this season, and we're going to break it down for you. When you look at how Liverpool build up in their usual 4-2-4 shape, Gravenberch often drops as the deepest player in the double pivot, acting as the first receiver to kickstart the team's ball progression. Which is why we turn into a 4-3-3 shape with McAllister and Szoboszlai acting as the double 10s. It's an extremely challenging and delicate role because even a small mistake like an over or under hit pass, a poor first touch, or a failed dribble can lead to a dangerous turnover for the opposition to exploit. But this new, confident version of Ryan Gravenberch has proven more than capable of handling the pressure. So far this season, Gravenberch has received 1,241 passes, putting him second in the Liverpool squad just behind Van Dijk. This shows how much he's relied on as the main link between the backline and the rest of the team. On top of that, he's only been dispossessed 0.61 times per 90 minutes, which highlights his incredible press resistance and ability to retain the ball under pressure. And while he does average 1.5 miscontrols per game, he hasn't committed a single error that's led to an opposition shot. But that's not all. Remember when we said we'd explain what Arne meant by Gravenberch being able to run and keep on running? Well, here we go. When Gravenberch receives the ball, he doesn't just act as a metronome passing it back to his teammates. Instead, he's constantly looking for that half turn to drive into open space. And guys, this move has worked time and time again this season. Now, we don't have the exact number of times he's successfully turned with the ball and escaped tight situations. But what we can show you is how often he's carried the ball into space, just like Arne said. Check out these stats: 108 progressive carrying distance and 2.05 carries into the final third per game, ranking him among the best in the league for these metrics. And the most impressive part? He's doing all this while playing as our deepest midfielder. The task might seem simple: receive the ball deep and carry it forward. But in reality, it's one of the toughest roles on the pitch, especially when you're being tightly marked. This is where Gravenberch's technical abilities truly shine. We've always known that the young midfielder is one of the most technically gifted players of his generation. The hype around him in recent years wasn't for nothing. He's always had something special. And this season, in the right environment, he's finally proving just how talented he is. He's showing his positional intelligence by consistently making himself available for passes, then using his technical skills, like press resistance, dribbling, and ball carrying, to burst forward. Plus, we've seen him effortlessly manipulate the ball in tight spaces, using his long limbs to shield possession and glide past opponents. Now, Gravenberch may not be the type of midfielder who controls the tempo with a wide range of passing, but his distribution has still been top-notch, completing 92.77% of his passes so far. And if you take a look at this chart, breaking down his stats per 90 minutes, you'll see just how well he's stacking up against other Premier League midfielders. From successful dribbles and through passes, to progressive runs and attacking actions, Gravenberch is dominating in nearly every metric compared to others in his position. There's no doubt about it, whether or not the board is still looking to bring in a new number 6 for more controlling games, Gravenberch has rightfully earned his spot in the starting 11. Even if a new player arrives with the form Ryan showed this season, he'll still need to be part of the midfield, even if that means shifting to a more advanced position. Now, why are we saying this? Well, let's put aside all the impressive in-possession qualities we've just discussed, because Gravenberch has completely transformed defensively as well. Let's be real, his defensive numbers last season were pretty underwhelming. He ranked around average or even below average for tackles, tackle success, and interceptions per 90 minutes. Back then, he lacked the positional awareness to make key interceptions and the intensity to win back possession with tackles. But this season, it's a whole different story. Take a look at this picture comparing his defensive stats from last season to now. There's a noticeable spike in duels and defensive actions percentages, and on top of that, he's losing far fewer challenges compared to last season. Now, we're not saying Arne Slot has turned Gravenberch into a defensive powerhouse overnight. There's still plenty of room for growth. But his new role, where he occupies central and deep spaces without needing to cover massive areas, has definitely helped him refine the defensive side of his game. On top of that, it seems like Gravenberch has realised just how much of a physical presence he is. With his long limbs, he's able to muscle players off the ball and use his feet to snatch possession from the opposition. This was especially clear during Liverpool's 3-0 win over Manchester United at Old Trafford. The Reds tweaked their pressing approach, setting traps in central areas instead of pressing high up the pitch. Gravenberch played a key role in this, patrolling the midfield alongside McAllister, making timely interceptions, regaining possession, and launching quick counter-attacks, whether by driving forward with the ball or distributing it sharply. And this improvement hasn't just been in the United game. In fact, Gravenberch currently sits at 12th for defensive duel-winning percentage and 5th for possession-adjusted interceptions, highlighting his ability to help the team regain the ball as fast as possible to remain in control of the game. Now, don't get us wrong, we're not saying Liverpool were right to skip over the number 6 position in the last summer transfer window, or that Gravenberch is the ultimate solution. But let's be real, we wouldn't have seen this version of him if we'd signed someone like Zubimendi, for example. That said, the Reds still need to bring in a controller type of pivot, if only to add some much needed squad depth. Let's knock on wood, but imagine if Gravenberch became unavailable for any reason. We seriously doubt there's another midfielder in the squad who could fill that role at the level he's been playing. His press resistance, spatial awareness, and improved defensive game are qualities no other Liverpool midfielder has, which is why he's become such a vital piece in Slot's system. So what do you think of Gravenberch's performances so far? Do you believe we still need to sign a new number 6 in the future? Let us know your thoughts in the comments, and if you enjoyed our analysis, make sure to hit those like and subscribe buttons for more content.